Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and the Final Shape / Echoes Act 2 / Solstice of Heroes intel. And in this video, I'm going to be running you through this week's Nightfall at the GM difficulty, which is the Liminality strike. Only the second time we've had this strike. Unfortunate that we have it now, as the rotation has been sort of skewed a bit, and we should have actually been able to complete the Conqueror Seal this week, but because of last week and the sort of mid-season refresh, we now have Liminality again. Fortunately, though, this week, if you can complete this Nightfall, you will earn yourself the Undercurrent grenade launcher, which is actually much better than the reward that we had last time. And of course, if you can complete this at the GM difficulty, you will earn the Adept version of the Undercurrent. Remember, all of those have the new upgradable perks, so that's an added bonus to doing this on GM. The unfortunate thing is this particular strike is very long, and in my opinion, one of the more difficult ones. I think it's just because it's new. I'm sure it'll become easier the longer we have it in the rotation, but because it is new and because it's built a lot like a Battleground, and you know how much I love Battlegrounds. Don't we all love Battlegrounds just so much? It will take a lot longer than just a normal strike. There are some interesting mechanics in it, I will say. It's a very well-crafted strike, but for the farmer in me, it just makes it all the more difficult. However, there are several glitches that I will share with you in this video. If you're a solo player, not all of these are going to apply to you, but some of the strategies certainly will help out, and a couple of the cheese spots will definitely help. If you're trying to complete this at any difficulty as a solo player, it's going to be, in my opinion, one of the more difficult ones to do. If you're trying to do this at the GM difficulty as a solo player, certainly my hat's off to you, but unfortunately, most of the glitches that we will be using in some of these clips won't apply to you, only some of the strategies and cheese spots. If you're in a group, a lot of these things I think will help. Some of them apply to not just this particular strike or GM, but any strike or GM, so hopefully you enjoy. The first glitch that I wanted to talk about was for the doors. Now this is, again, if you're in a group, but it'd work if you're in a group of 2 or more. But essentially, you can hide in one of the doors when they close. You start any one of these particular encounter parts. There's this one, and then there's the other one after this. You can actually just stand in the door frame while the doors close, and you will get locked inside the door. You can't get hurt inside the door. You won't take any damage, but you can fire out of the door. And if you have stasis turrets like I was rocking on a Warlock, something that will do some damage over time and is sort of separate from where you're standing, you can actually get the grenades to launch through the door. You can still throw grenades through the door, but then they can also do damage to the entirety of the room, where unfortunately the only drawback from this is you're sort of limited to where you see this border of this wall frame. You can shoot everything to the left of it, but as things go behind it, so really just in the front right of where you're standing, you won't be able to shoot them. There's sort of a barrier there. But you can still provide a lot of cover to the center of the room, most of the right side of the room, and the entirety of the left of the room. So if you have those stasis turrets, they can come in even more handy because they'll be able to cover things on the right side of the room. So this lets your teammates just have the option of having more cover continuously, where you don't have to find cover for yourself or possibly risk dying. The only other thing that you have to know about this glitch is once this room is complete and you want to progress forward, you will not be able to move from this location. You actually get stuck in this door. A later door you can actually get out of, but this one you will get stuck in. So in order to progress, you have to do the joining allies glitch. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's the next glitch we're going to cover. That's a pretty easy one. Really only works if you're in a group. I've never actually tried it solo, so maybe you might have some success, but essentially all you need to do is, if you're on a console, you'd go to the home screen of your console without quitting the game, and then close the game directly from your home screen. Then reboot the game, reload in on the same character, and you will be able to join back in to the last thing you were in the progress of. So it'll assume that you got dropped from the game. Because of that, Bungie has a feature that allows you to rejoin the last session. You'll be able to rejoin up on your teammates who can continue to progress while you're rejoining, and you'll be out of the wall. So that might be a long process for a group of 3 who might be able to nuke through that room as well as this room. But if you're in a group of 2, maybe you want to try this. And again, if you're a solo player, I haven't actually tried this, but I'm going to assume that you won't be able to rejoin your last session, though maybe you could. If you're on a PC, you would just quit from your Steam page, assuming you're on Steam, which I think most people who play this on PC are. Now, for the room you see in front of me, another strategy that I would use if you're not the person in the door. By the way, you can jump above the floor's lava area or the taken floor that will ultimately kill you. You can take damage from this in here, but you can simply jump up while you're in this door. Is to go to the back right side of this room where you see my teammates generally located. Big shout out to Sinister and DJ. By the way, they're going to be streaming as soon as you see this post, so check the pinned comment. But that back right corner, you'll know it because it's the highest point. The floor's lava will not rise to that point, but it's not the highest point in the map. There's actually a little bridge above you. There's a corner there. Basically, it's the only place in the room where you can put your entire back to the wall with your team and still have some cover from above because that bridge will be above you. Do not go up to the top platforms because there are snipers on the top, but so long as you stay in that back right corner in that room, you should be pretty good. And the same goes for the boss room. For the spots in between where you have to go and capture these nodes, at least on the right side, always send a Warlock because Warlocks should have turrets, and the turrets will kill the Blights for you, so it saves a whole bunch of time on this side of the room. So that's just a good trick to know, especially if you're a solo player. Warlocks, I think, are going to have an advantage as solo players in this particular one. Normally, I would say Hunters have an advantage, and Hunters are good, but that room, they really doesn't play to their advantages. For the boss room, always make sure you take out all the adds before you attack the boss. And if you're in a group, try to stand in all 3 corners when you're doing boss damage, but when you're not doing boss damage, always stay in the front right side of the room. It's the only place where you'll have this big pillar as well as a rock behind the pillar, and you can just move around that pillar when the boss comes to this area and you're trying to take out adds to basically keep him separate from where the adds are, because he kind of gets stuck orbiting that. You can just continually circle around it, or you can hide behind this rock that you see me using right here. This is probably the easiest location to defend in order to just take out the adds, but then once the adds are done, I would suggest all players go to the 3 corners of the boss arena to do damage to the boss. It's actually best not to do any damage to the boss until you clear out all the adds, as the aggro is just not needed. If you try to avoid him, he'll generally stay towards the middle of the map, or he'll just get stuck on that first big pillar. That back rock that you saw me hanging out behind, that's the furthest back you're going to ever want to go, because that is the furthest back you can actually go without running into the lava, which isn't here all the time, but as you can see, lies around the edge of the boss arena. If you fall into that, or if you back into it even a little bit, you're going to take a lot of damage. However, that one rock on this right side is still in front of, that floor. So that's about as far away from the center of the map as you can get without running into any of the lava, and still providing some cover in front of you. So this is the side to hold while you're taking out adds. Now, other than that, it's not going to lie, going to be a bit of a struggle. This is a really open area. There are a lot of adds in it. It's a roaming boss, so all of these things play against you. Some of them will even assist one another as far as how they spawn in, and obviously you'll get shields from certain adds that help other ones. So it's just a difficult room altogether. But holding that right side will certainly give you the best advantage. As far as damage to the boss goes, this week I believe heavy machine guns as well as arc are 2 of the burns. I think also solar. Those are the 2 surges. So I was using this week, this is an older clip, I was using the Thunderlord, which also was pretty good just for ad control, but maybe not the focus for boss damage. For generally just great boss damage, I found that the Dragon's Breath works really, really good because it is a damage over time weapon, and Solar is also one of the surges. So you can shoot the boss and generally get away from them as fast as possible. If you're a hunter, tethers are going to be really good. I think for the Warlock, the roaming super, the new prismatic super for Solar, which name escapes me at the moment, is definitely the best. Wait for those tethers to come up before you use it, but in general, just survivability on prismatic is going to be, I think, very much needed. And hopefully you'll be able to get this done and get yourself an Undercurrent, as they are very good. It's right up there with some of the best grenade launchers in the game currently. As a wave frame, you don't see them that often, that also can roll with really great AoE effects. And now remember also Blast Radius Masterworks do help even those wave frame grenade launchers. So I think it's definitely worth the farm picking that one up. And yeah, just get yourself a really good endgame item if you can. With the upgradable perks, especially in the Adept form, it's just that much better. But that's going to be it for all the information in today's video. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please remember to tune in to DJ and Sinister's live streams. As I said, they'll be live right now. You can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Any of those things will also be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of them also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. Thanks for all the support on the channel as of late. Remember also, when and if we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away an Xbox or a PlayStation or a video card if you play on PC. If you've watched to this point in the video, you can also leave a hashtag the Final Shape, or a hashtag Echoes, or a hashtag the name of this particular GM strike in the comments section down below. And once more, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching again, and of course, we will see you next time.